She's damned if she does, and she's damned if she don't. Let's take a second right now to have a moment of silence for Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson, who suggested that the WNBA as a whole should have been on the cover of Time magazine instead of just Caitlin Clark, who graced the cover last week, which is probably some of the stupidest shit I've ever heard. And that's no disrespect to the ladies in the league, and we'll get to that. But the Twitter community was quick to remind Sheila that a majority of their success as far as attendance came from the Caitlin Clark effect. Over 31% of the Mystics' entire attendance was in 2 games the Caitlin team played against the Mystics. The Sparks, the Aces, the Mystics, the Dream all moved games when Fever came in town because of the attention that Caitlin and her teammates have drawn that last season. Fever's jersey sales was up 1,000% and attendance was up 250%. And they had the largest attendance on average per year, just over 17,000 per game. Let me say this, Caitlin Clark deserves all the flowers. I think she took a lot of shit and a lot of skeptics coming into the league, as she should. Like, she had to really prove herself. Missed out on the Olympic opportunity, and really had a lot of hard knocks early on in the season where she was getting beat up and her teammates were just watching her. I think the camaraderie in that locker room grew, and that team started playing together and made the playoffs, made a nice little run, and had a solid season. In the article, the Time article, Caitlin obviously accepted the honor, but also was quick to pay homage to the black women of the W's past who helped pave the way for herself today. So Caitlin is someone who has, if you look at it, done everything you're supposed to do, and has been criticized along every step of the way. Again, she's damned if she does, and she's damned if she doesn't. While the NBA's ratings continue to drop over 30%, as they try to figure out who is going to fill the shoes of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry, the WNBA has a golden goose sitting in their league and has gotten better, but has done everything to kind of discredit the momentum and eyeballs she's brought to this game. And I'm not saying her alone, because there's a lot of talented players. She is not the best player in the league. I think obviously that goes to A'ja Wilson, who is a 3-time MVP, and there's a ton of other very talented players. But Caitlin has brought a ton of new opportunity, a ton of new eyeballs, and more money to the sport. So instead of downplaying the magnitude of who she is and what she's brought, enjoy the ride and take advantage of the ride and do everything you can do to show the fan base why they should have been watching before Caitlin came along. With that said, let me welcome to the show my guy, Trevor Ariza. Trev, thoughts on the impact that Caitlin has made on the WNBA?
Man, first of all, she's unbelievable talent. You know, the things that she's doing is great in her own right. She's creating her own space, she's doing her own thing. But if we had to compare from what we've seen from the NBA, it would, in her effect, probably something similar to Larry Bird. And, you know, people want to bring race into it or whatever. So if that's the case, I think Larry Bird would be the best.
Yeah. And there has been, and we can tap into that, not to cut you off, but there has been, because obviously, you know, Angel Reese also deserves a lot of, you know, salute and respect for, you know, her finding her lane and the audience and eyeballs she's brought. But Angel has spoken up and talked about the racism she's faced. You know, and I think what's made this great, Trev, is their storyline started in college. Right. You know what I mean? When they played against each other in the national championship, and Angel did her thing and held the ring finger up and got a bunch of shit, but it was just shit talking back and forth. Neither of them, you know, had hard feelings of that. But, you know, Caitlin, I think they set the record with 9.9 million. So I mean, I think this started back in college, you know, with the national championship game in 2023, nearly 10 million viewers. The Iowa-South Carolina game was the first time the women's game has ever had more eyeballs than the men's game, so this is something, and what's made this great, and I think what the NBA lacks is storylines, and obviously Caitlin coming in has a storyline, Angel coming in has a storyline, and then as you follow those storylines, you start to see all the talent in this league.
Yeah, no, I think they're doing an amazing job with, like you said, telling the story, and the players are actually doing their thing when they get there too. Like you mentioned, these couple of players, but Caitlin being the one that we're speaking about right now, she is kicking everybody's ass, really. Or I won't say kicking everybody's ass, but she's doing her thing.
She's holding her as a rookie. And she's definitely holding her own. Her ability, I mean, you look at it, and it's similar to the Steph effect. You know what I mean? The ability to shoot the ball from anywhere is always gonna gain eyeballs, and I think obviously the W is taking a hit because the I wouldn't want to say lack, but just the athleticism isn't there like it is on the men's side. Although there are some women dunking now, but the ability to shoot that ball from deep has captured all basketball by storm.
Well, she's you mentioned Steph, and it took Steph a couple of years to get to that point. And she's coming in doing it as a rookie. So her following the machine of college and everything that she's bringing to the game has been great for the game, especially because years prior to, their league wasn't doing as well as far as revenue, and now it's starting to catch up and do the things that we hoped that it would do. As we all now are starting to support women's sports.
When you see the people say it's not just her, there's other players, and again, we're not distracted. We understand that the depth of talent in that league, but when you also see the numbers that back up the fact that Caitlin has a huge effect. Caitlin Clark is responsible for nearly 27% of the WNBA's league-wide activity in 2024, including attendance. 1 in 6 tickets sold at the WNBA arena attributed to Caitlin Clark. TV viewership was up 30%. TV viewership was up 300% with Caitlin Clark. The league's merchandise sale jumped nearly 500% with Caitlin Clark ranking number 1. I mean, obviously surrounded with all the hype and all the talent and all the hate. Do you see any similarities of when Caitlin come in the league to back when Bron? I think you were in college back then, right?
Yeah, I was in college when Bron came into the league, but we're the same high school year. So Bron has been this has been who he's been since high school. So, not as timing wise, no. And now that social media is like huge, I think it makes it really, really, really big. But that was like a legend because it was TV,
right? Or newspaper.
It was newspaper, so it's different. So I believe Bron's thing was a bit, bigger because it's more like a legend.
Old school, yeah.
And with the social media thing, it everybody could just pick their phone up. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has social media. So, and whatever that engine is, you can just click on it and it'll show up in your algorithm. So, I think that the push is different. Maybe the different eras, but I guess it would be the same. Similar
to just the magnitude and the attention the game has brought. Probably the hate both of them have faced. But, I wish her nothing but the best. I wish the league nothing but the best. I think they're on a great, although they still lost money this year, I think that is going to start to change as the game continues to grow. These players continue to get more attention. And obviously honoring the women that came before, the Cheryl Swoops, the Tina Thompsons, the Lisa Leslies, the Dawn Staleys, all these ladies that kind of helped put this women's game on the map professionally in the United States. And this is where the Angel Reeses and the Caitlin Clarks and, you look at the great Diana Taurasi, Asia Wilson, who just signed a nice big old deal with Nike. Congratulations. They continue to push the game to the next level, and you look at where the NBA was and now where the NBA is at now. And although everyone doesn't agree with the style of play, these guys have taken it to the next level as far as the business of basketball. And I think that's what Caitlin will affect, is the business of women's basketball, man. So we wish them the best. Definitely excited to see these upcoming seasons and these women continue to do their thing.
You know you want those Wingstop boneless wings. With the boneless meal deal from Wingstop, you get 20 boneless wings, 4 delicious flavors, an order of large fries for $16.99. Mango habanero, OG hot, and my favorite, lemon pepper. What are y'all waiting on? More wings, more flavor, more bang for your buck. The boneless meal deal from Wingstop. Order now at wingstop.com.